Okay, and so in today's video we're going to be looking at the preterite tense. We're going to look at when do I use the preterite tense and how do I form it. Now it's worth noting that the preterite tense is one of the two main past tenses that you'll be using. So it's probably best to go and have a look at the other one before you start tackling this one, the other past tense being the imperfect tense. The reason I'm going to get you to do that is one of the main problems people have when looking at the preterite and the imperfect tense is not when do I form it, but when do I use it. So go back and have a look at the imperfect tense if at any point in this video you get a bit confused. There's some good news and some bad news about the preterite. The good news about the preterite is that once you've got your head around it and once you've mastered it, it's probably the most difficult tense in Spanish. So once you've mastered it, it's plain sailing from there. And obviously the bad news is it is one of the hardest tenses in Spanish to get your head around. Whilst it is difficult, it's by no means impossible. You just have to perhaps work at it a bit harder than you have been working at, let's say, the present tense or the compound future. But you can do it, you can get there, just keep practicing, keep going with it, and listen to this video as many times as you need in order for you to master it. So, when do I use it? Well, let's tackle that question first. Before we get there, though, I want you to have a look at this text, and I want you to see if you can point out for me, see if you can spot any examples of the preterite, the preterite tense. Let's see how comfortable you already are with the preterite tense. So now would be a good time to pause the video, have a look, see if you can spot it. I think there are 4 examples here, so see if you can find the 4 examples of the preterite tense. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you gave yourself a chance to pause it and have a look, and well done if you spotted those 4 there. So ocurrió, hizo, defendió, and tuvo are all examples of the preterite tense. Now this is an obituary of the late Michael Jackson, and the reason I've chosen this text is because obituaries are filled with past tenses, and in particular preterite tenses. Now we don't refer to the preterite tense as a past tense because there are lots and lots of different types of past tense, and they all have slightly different functions. So remember, it's not the past tense, it is a past tense, the preterite tense. So let's have a look now at when. So we've looked at, if you've got any idea about what the preterite tense is. Hopefully you aren't completely new to it, and hopefully you do have some concept of what it is. If you don't know, don't worry, because we're going to explain it step by step. So we're going to first look at when do I use it. So really simple way of remembering when you use it. I think you think of it like this: a completed action in the past, a one-off action in the past, and that's pretty much it. So I want you to think about my angry monkey that we've got down here in the corner. What's the best thing to do with an angry monkey? You put him in a cot, or a surprised monkey in this case. So you use the preterite tense with cot. Completed action in the past, one-off action in the past. That's pretty much it. With all areas of grammar, there are always exceptions to the rules. So there are other times when you use the preterite tense, but this completed action in the past and this one-off action in the past are the 2 main occasions when you use the preterite tense in Spanish. So remember, cot, angry monkey, surprised monkey, goes in a cot. So we've looked at when do I use it. Hopefully you're comfortable with that. The equivalent in English would be verbs that end usually in ed. So I vomited, I farted, I can't think of any completed actions in the past. Come on. Sorry, my brain's gone completely blank. But that's when you'd use it. So that's the equivalent, or that's its equivalent function in English. Remember, it's not an exact equivalent function, but that's a good way of remembering sort of when you use it. So let's have a look now at how do I form it. Okay, so for the conjugation, it's really simple. You remove the AR, the ER, and the IR part of the infinitive, and you add, hold on. If you are freaking out about the conjugation bit, don't. I explain it in quite a lot of depth in the present tense, but if not, here's a brief summary. Remember, whenever you're putting verbs in different tenses, remember to keep calm and conjugate. So the templates that we're giving you now, use these templates to help you when you are faced with conjugating verbs. So we've given you the equation, if you will. It's now up to you to learn it and to put it into practice. But for conjugation, so this part here, the conjugation, all we mean is think of our potato from the present tense. So no one really eats a potato in its raw form. Most people like to boil it, fry it, roast it, or do whatever you like. So you need to change your potato to put it into an acceptable form that you're looking for, but it's essentially still the same potato, exactly like our conjugation. Conjugation, you take the to form of the verb, so to eat, and you change it into the I form, the you singular form, the he form, the we form, the you plural form, the they form. So you take it from the to eat into I eat. That's all that conjugation means. It just describes that process. So you remove the AR, the IR, or the ER part of the verb, and you add the following endings. For an AR verb, so we've taken our infinitive here, so our infinitive is cortar, which means to cut. We've got to remove the AR, which is here, so we're removing those two letters, and we are adding E for the yo form, aste for the to form, o for the he, she, or it form, amos for the we form, astes for the you plural form, and aron for the they form. This would be a good screen to print off, by the way, so feel free to print this off or copy down these endings or make a note in someone, because for all regular AR verbs, these are the endings that you use. So the process is very, very easy. You cut off the AR, you add E, aste, o, amos, astes, aron, depending on who's doing the action. There are a couple of points worth noting here. First off, do not forget the E with an accent or the O with an accent. It's very important that you don't forget the O with the accent, because for certain verbs, if you weren't to put the accent, it would change it from he, she, or it, cut, as in the past. Let's use a different example. He, she, or it worked in the past. He was saying trabajó, to I work in the present. If you're a bit confused as to the present tense endings, go and check out the video on the present tense. So there is one other area you need to pay attention to, and well done if you spotted it. It's the amos. It is the same ending for present tense. So cortamos could mean we cut, or in the present, as in we are cutting now, or we cut as in the past. Unfortunately, in English, you don't distinguish the verb to cut, but it could mean we cut or we cutted, which doesn't make any sense, but you get the picture. So the endings are it goes corte, cortaste, cortó, cortamos, cortamos, cortasteis, cortaron. So I cut, you singular cut, he cut, we cut, you plural cut, they cut. So for ER verbs, same process, you cut off the ER, and you add the following endings. Bendí, bendiste, bendió. Bendimos, bendisteis, bendieron. Again, a couple of points to note here. Before we talk about the points, this would be a good screen to print off, or at the very least make a note of these endings somewhere. These are the same endings that you use for all regular ER verbs. Cut off the ER, you add I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. The points to note about these endings are, first off, don't forget the I with the accent. Second off, don't forget the O with the accent. And again, so the I with the accent and the O with an accent. But you can see, actually, that so we've got the I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. They're not all that dissimilar from the AR verbs, where we've got E, aste, o, amos, astes, aron, I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Don't forget, down here it's I-O, not just O. Okay? Some good news. IR verbs. So dividir, to divide. Sorry, vender means to sell. So that's I sold, you singular sold, he sold, we sold, you plural sold, they sold. So dividir, to divide, goes dividí, dividiste, dividió. Dividimos, dividisteis, dividieron. Again, this would be a good slide to print off, or make it out, or either way, make a note of these endings somewhere. Now, if your brain is telling you, going, hang on, that looks a bit familiar, well spotted. Because look here, I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron, so that's for ER verbs. I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Bingo brain, well done. they are the same. So IR verbs and ER verbs take the same endings in the preterite tense. So there is some good news about the preterite tense. You only really have to learn 2 sets of endings. One for AR, one for IR and ER. Okay? So that's I divided, you singular divided, he, she, or it divided, we divided, you divided, they divided. Again, this could be we divide or we divided. How do you tell which one it is? Don't forget KKK, not the Ku Klux Klan, but context is king. So you look at the sentences around the words, this particular verb, you look at any time phrases there might be in there to figure out from the context what time this was set in, as in the present tense or the preterite tense. So dividí, dividiste, dividió, dividimos, dividisteis, dividieron. Now, there are some irregulars out there. This is perhaps the trickiest bit of the preterite tense. So you can see that for AR regulars, they're actually ER and IR regulars. It's actually not that difficult. The main stumbling block that you might have come across if you've come across the preterite tense before is the irregulars. But we are not doing them today, buddy. This video is just for the regulars. There will be a video on the irregulars, but it's not this one. So, before you have a go at conjugating these 3 verbs, I want you to remember to keep calm and conjugate. So go back to the part of the video where we're talking about the endings, and we're talking about how you cut off the AR, ER, or IR. Go back, watch that again, listen to that again until you are comfortable with the formula for doing it. Once you've done that, come here, have a go at conjugating these 3 verbs. So recibir, to receive, interpretar, to interpret, and esconder, to hide. Now would be a good time to pause the video and either go back and look at the conjugation templates or just to have a go at conjugating these 3 verbs. Good luck. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you had a go at conjugating these verbs and they should look like this. Okay. Check that what you got is what I got, and if you're happy with it, give yourself a Fernando high 5. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. There are some mistakes in there. There are some mistakes in there. Well done if you spotted them. They are here. The first mistake that I deliberately tried to catch you out with is you need to have an accent on that O. Remember, line accents, if you want to call them a line accent, only ever go one way in Spanish. They go bottom left to top right, so they go up the mountain. Missing on that one. So what does interpretor without the accent mean? If your little brain, if your brain is telling you that interpretor means I interpret, you are right. But we don't want to say I interpret, we want to say he interpreted. Need to put an accent on that O. Problem with this one here, well, there's 2 problems with this one here. The first one is esconder. It's an ER verb. It needs to have an I with an accent, because don't forget, ER and IR verbs take the same endings. Second problem with the ER verbs, this needs to be imos, not hemos. Yeah? Okay, and with IR verbs, recibiste, not recibistes. No S on the end there. And here, classic mistake. The classic mistake we've made there is we've forgotten to cut off the IR. So you can see it's recibir, and here I've written recibiristes. It's recibistes, so you cut off that IR. So it should look like that. So there is a correct collection of the conjugations. Feel free to print this screen off or make a note of these endings. Okay, so let's just have a go at these 7 sentences just to see how well you've understood the regulars in the preterite tense, how confident you are using them, and let's see how well you do. So now would be a good time to pause the video, have a go at translating these into Spanish, and we'll go through them in a bit. Okay, well done. Welcome back. Let's have a look at how you did. So, mandé, imprimiste, vendió, trabajó. So we've looked at when we've used it. We've looked at how do I form it, and hopefully you're super confident with both. So when do I use it? Don't forget our surprised monkey in the cot. And when do you form it? Again, a really simple process of taking the infinitive, cutting off the AR, ER, or IR, and adding those sets of endings. So all in all, our surprised monkey says it's not difficult. So remember, completed actions in the past, one-off actions in the past, and that's pretty much it. And one last look at the different endings for AR, ER, and IR verbs. So if you take nothing away from this video, just remember cot and remember those endings. That is fantastibilistic. You've done really well if you've got your head around that. You are primed and ready to go and tackle the irregulars. You have hoisted the flag of understanding up the pole of knowledge. So congratulations and well done. Yay!